let's look at the types of cell. Types of cell. We have two main types of cell. Yes, two types of cell. One is a prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell, what we call prokaryotes. Prokaryotes. And eukaryotic or eukaryotes. Alright, these are the two major types of cell, the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. And the types of cell is not plant and animal cell. Like say, some people will think that types of cell, plant cell and animal cell. Please no. The types of cells are prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Because plant and animals are both eukaryotes. But there are some organisms that are not eukaryotes, they are prokaryotes. You mentioned the likes of bacteria. Bacteria is also part of a cell, but cells of a bacteria are prokaryotic in nature. What prokaryotic means that these cells does not have an organized nucleus and at the same time lack a nuclear membrane. Unlike eukaryotes that has a organized nucleus and also a nuclear membrane. So that is the difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. So the cell of plant is eukaryotic, the cell of animal is also eukaryotic. But the cell of bacteria, the cell of Escherichia coli, all these mononeurons, they are not, they don't have organized nucleus and nuclear membrane. So you refer to those organisms, those cells, as prokaryotes. And now, prokaryotic cell, I'll define it. Prokaryotes are cell without organized nucleus. Organized nucleus. Organized nucleus due to absence of nuclear membrane. Prokaryotes are cells without organized nucleus due to absence of nuclear membrane. The reason why some cells lack nucleus, organized nucleus, is because they lack nuclear membrane. And eukaryotes are cells with organized nucleus. Organized nucleus due to presence of nuclear membrane. All right, that is the two types of cell on the board. The prokaryotes are without organized. The nucleus are not organized, and most times, since the nucleus is not organized, the genetic materials like the chromosomes and DNA are found in the cytoplasm because it's not going to be enclosed like a eukaryotes with organized nucleus. So you expect that the DNA, the chromosomes, those genetic informations, materials are within their nucleus, since their nucleus is well organized due to presence of nuclear membrane. Okay, I'm going to show you the differences between the two now. The difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. And in biology, when we identify differences in organism, we most likely use table. We tabulate it so that it will be easy when you are comparing two organisms in biology. You tabulate them. The two types of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Let's look at the differences. Like I said, it's well presented when the differences are tabulated. All right. Like from the definition of the two terms, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are those cells with organized nucleus, without organized nucleus rather, due to absence of nuclear membrane. So it means that prokaryotes have no organized nucleus. And why? Because of no nuclear membrane. Comparing both, These have organized nucleus due to presence of nuclear membrane. All right. Most time you see that organisms under prokaryotes are basically unicellular. Why those eukaryotes, majority, it's not as if there is no unicellular under eukaryotes, because protists or protozoa are eukaryotes, but they are all unicellular. But majority of organisms are eukaryotes. All right, like plants and animals are eukaryotes, and even some fungi are many cells. Majority are multicellular. That is, they don't depend on just a cell, but they depend on what units of numerous cells. That's what they call multicellular. So majority of eukaryotes, apart from protozoa, are multicellular. Then, because this cell, the nucleus is not well organized, and numbers of cells are fewer in this organism. They have fewer cells than what you have eukaryotes. They have more cell organelles. You see that the cell is small in size because of nucleus, because nucleus happens to be the largest cell organelle in plant and animal. But in this case, there is no nucleus. So the size of the cell is what? Is a little bit is smaller compared to cell with organized nucleus, where because of the nucleus will increase the cell size, as the case may be. In prokaryotes, DNA is not associated with protein. Why DNA is not associated with protein? Because the DNA itself is not even in the nucleus to use mRNA to start making protein, but the DNA resides in the cytoplasm. Unlike in eukaryotes, where the DNA will associate with protein and RNA, because the DNA itself is found in the nucleus, well-organized nucleus. So there will be protein synthesis from what we call the messenger RNA, which signals the synthesis of proteins. So it means that this will be associate with protein, why this cannot associate with protein, since there's lack of organized nucleus as prokaryotic is. So these are the differences between prokaryotes and the eukaryotes.